Well, g'day guys, it's Matt here. Welcome to the channel. So we're still sowing canola here. All's been going pretty well. The new system's been working really good. But yeah, we just have been, where the barley stubble the stubble was a lot thicker, so we have been having a few troubles with that blocking up. So we'll just see what eventuates there. Currently I'm in the wheat stubble, so it hasn't been an issue, but we'll just see what develops. Always a bit of fun going on the side of the bank. So this is the dam bank. Certainly not very comfortable being on this angle. Taking it nice and steady. The dam's nice and full there at least. Well, things turned a bit sour here. She's stuck. They're great tractors, these two tractors. They float nicely, all of that. But the problem is if one side gets into a little bit of soft stuff, then obviously that just spins and it pulls you into it. So there's not a lot you can do. It was still moving along not too bad, and then all of a sudden it's not good. So generally what I tried to do was, you can see the marks here, I tried to get out of that little wet patch to come up here onto the hard stuff, but it wouldn't let me because it was just spinning on the inside, so I couldn't steer. Anyway, I'm the only one here, so I might have to go see if one of the young nephews can help pull me out with the tractor. Righto, well, we got her out. Another problem is with these is you end up just getting a bit of mud, wet mud on that drive wheel there, and yeah, then it just slips and you can't do a lot, but that should dry up pretty quick. Thankfully it's school holidays and the nephews were hanging around, so otherwise I would have been stuck well and truly. Righto, let's get back to planting. Another morning, bit of a chilly one. It was 10 degrees Celsius this morning, so I do have a jumper on and I think I need to go jumper shopping. Today's plan is still going to be sowing, but just for the minute we have to fill this up with fertilizer. I'll probably not fill it up, maybe just 10 tonne or so, but see if old Faithful here can start. Now I've already checked the oil, it was good. Going to be fun. It's actually Perspex, this windscreen, because the glass one was starting to fall out at harvest one time, so we had to pull it out so it could keep going, and then when it got put down the wind blew it over and smashed it. So yeah, not quite sure. I'll have to look for a rag, I think, to try and be able to see what I'm doing, but we'll see if she fires up. Oil pressure, there we go. The trick is you just try to beat the smoke, otherwise it's a bit hard to breathe. Righto, we're back on the planter finally. Wait for everything to warm up. Then we can get into it. We've actually run out of this variety of canola. Now it gets a bit dicey because the metering boxes probably holds, well, yeah, that'll probably be 10 kilos. On one side it was just a little bit too low, so you run the risk of one section here only sort of getting every other seed. So just to save any air strips, I've just dumped the rest of that variety out, and I've filled up the fert. And that there is the handbrake for the old comma, the secondary handbrake, just to make sure. But what I'll have to do now is head over here and I'll just lift this pallet of seed up, and then I can just unload it onto the top of the air cart, put a few bags in and get going on that. Righto, that should do us. Now, the way they stitch up these bags, it's quite interesting. It's like a daisy chain type thing. See if I can do this with one hand holding the camera. So it's all got these, it's all stitched together right through that. And on the other bags I was using, actually, they had a green and a red stitch, so you knew which one you had to pull out for it to all unravel. But this one, it's that one there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Righto, this one should give a bit better indication. So just pull that up like that, and then that all pops open. So yeah, it's nice when they colour code the threads. That makes it easier to know which one to cut. Tip her in. I won't try that one handed, that's an expensive mistake. And while we're here, grab the grease gun and we'll give her a grease. So it's just got a few grease points on the frame because it all flexes and contorts itself over banks and things. So you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got the fold ones which are in behind there, and then you've got one in the middle. So you might be able to see in some footage every now and then when you do go over a bank, the whole thing just twists and pivots, so you need to make sure there's grease in all of those. And also the big cast wheels at the front, all 4 of them need a heap of grease. Well, this is turning into quite the pit stop. These are actually some parts we ordered from Boss, who's the manufacturer of the planter over there. And yeah, we ordered this yesterday and they're in town today ready to pick up. So Dad's already been in and done that. So we've got, looks like we might have, what, if that's the same, if that middle one's the same, we've got 75 points. So the only downside is they don't have the little rubber grommets in them, which is a little annoying. So that'll be what's in that box there. But anyway, it doesn't take too much to push them in. So those pins there, they go through the tine, and then these grommets get pushed into there, and then those pins go through there, which holds that in place. But anyway, if I do have to replace one, I'll show you. Might be this video or the next one, who knows. Well, I've gone through and checked that there is seed and fertiliser coming out of every tube. So every time we fill up, we do that, or every couple of hours. So it's been greased, checked over. Got my armful of spare parts here. Put that in the little spare parts box. Got a few tools and things in there. Should be good to go. But it's a nice time of the evening. It's a beautiful evening out there actually. Not a lot of wind, perfect temperature, and everything's going smoothly at the minute. We've only got another 8 hectares or so here, and then I have a feeling once the sun goes down I will be stopped because it'll just be blocking up. So I have to wait for Brad to spray in the morning before I get going anyway, because we've got to put that residual spray down first before we sow it. Right, you might be able to see that white dot that's just about to go behind that tree conveniently, but that is Josiah on the weeder. So he's down there where I actually sowed yesterday, and he is just targeting some of the bigger weeds that didn't get got with the spray we did before we sowed. So we're going over it with that, and not going through much chemical at all because there's only the very odd big weed. For instance, something like that. And so he's just getting them. Well, another day of doing the same sort of thing. What I will do just before we finish up with the video is explain what's going on here. Now you might see this is the normal way we plant and harvest and spray and do everything. That's our tram lines. But what we're finding, particularly in this thicker stubble, is that when we're going with it, the header marks, because the chaff coming out the header and the chopper, the stuff that comes out of the chopper is all in a bit of a line and a thicker patch. because it was just such a thick crop last year, it was blocking up. So you can see like there's a bit of a straw thing. So if I was trying to plant that, it would block up. So what we do occasionally along the top around the hill here is we'll go on contour mode, which is we just curve right around. You might be able to see, here's the GPS. That's the mark I'm going to go on. And what that does is it means that even though it might start to block up, it's not long until I go to a place where there isn't much straw on the ground and it clears itself. Anyway, that's the plan. We're giving it a crack because we don't want to burn it and use up nutrients. We want to try and keep the stubble there if we can. Righto guys, we're here after a place one of the points. So I can briefly show you how that happens. I don't have my GoPro with me, so you'll have to make do with me trying to do this one-handed. So I want to slip it in like that. Sometimes you've got to tap it in a bit. Then you can see that hole lines up through there where that grommet is. And the pin's got the little locator section there, which you snap off after you get it in. Righto, so that's through there, and you just break that bit off. All done. Well guys, I've just got to do a little bit on the sprayer now, so Brad's taken over on the planter, so we'll call it there for the video I think. We'll catch you in the next one.